I have a theory about Black is King. I think Black is King wasn't really made for Africans in mind, okay? Yo, what's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Emmanuel. Welcome back again to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Emmanuel. I do a bunch of reviews for albums and anything from Nigerian music scene and the diaspora as well. So definitely go check it out. Today's video is The Internet Kills, and we are here to talk about Black is King, okay? It's a very, or if you don't know, well, you're not under a cave, I'm sure you must have come across Beyonce's visual album to The Lion King, The Gift album that came out last summer, and this is a visual album for that, and again, absolutely amazing from what I've seen, and it's amazing what she's doing. The initiative behind it is something to very much applaud. Okay, now I have a theory about Beyonce's Black is King. So I'm Nigerian, born and raised. So I think this was a great move for African creatives. I think about the stylists, the dancers, the photographers, the choreographers, like all the people and minds that came behind Beyonce to put this together. First off, we even need a documentary for the behind the scenes, man. I need to see that. Absolutely need to see that. And I hope they recorded the behind the scenes for this. But anyways, yeah, like amazing how that was put together, and it turned out beautiful, and it really represented an image, and we're going to talk about this very soon. I think the imagery of what she did was very important and vital to the image of what she was trying to transmit on that. But I have a theory about Black is King. I think Black is King wasn't really made for Africans in mind, okay? And hear me out. I'm not saying like it wasn't for Africans, because obviously she created it in Africa with African creatives. But I think the major benefactor culturally from this are Black Americans. I think Black Americans were the biggest motivation for Beyonce to even bring this initiative together. I think because there's so much systemically and that has been happening to Black Americans in terms of stripping away their identity, in terms of oppressing their heritage out of them right from slavery descent, right from slavery and down, trickles down to today. There's still a lot of effects in that, and a lot of Black Americans, I cannot speak for all Black Americans, but one would assume with knowing their history that it feels a lot. It feels like a lot, and it means a lot for them to have a connection to Africa, to have a sense of identity, a sense of culture about their heritage, you know, where their ancestors are from, and understanding what their real original context is. Because Black is King captures a pre-colonial Africa. It doesn't really capture Africa that we know of today. And that's gonna point to another issue that I have about how people are looking at this Black is King. So Beyonce comes with this visual album to pretty much picture like Africa without all the colonial masters touching their hands on it. The roots of Africa, okay? That's why I feel like, honestly, growing up in Nigeria, there were still some connections to pre-colonial Africa. I could easily read some of the history in Yoruba and Igbo textbooks where we're telling us about like the days before colonials even came in. And obviously Black Americans didn't have that history to connect with, okay? They didn't have that, and they didn't have anything to tie to what their life would have been without even white people coming in at all, right? So we had a pre-colonial like education, at least to some extent. So I'm saying this to some extent. We did have some pre-colonial education, and at least understanding our culture, understanding all the other gods that we have in Africa, even in terms of religion too. We understood all of that. But this album and this entire visual experience created that picture of what it looked like before the colonizers came into the picture. And then this album, for real, the major benefactors, I think, would be Black Americans. So this was literally intended for that. And it was a celebration to at least connect to like your roots, connect to the heritage. And that's why it was amazing. And recently with the many Black Panther movies coming out, with Lion King and the album and all this this almost celebration of African heritage and acceptance that you see on the Black American side, it shows how much they've wanted it, okay? Black Panther was number one and like broke records, okay? Broke records. It showed so much of hunger that they had to African imagery. Like literally they wanted that. They wanted that I don't know, some essence that empowers you, that because for hundreds and hundreds of years they've been almost been told that they've been lesser than. And to have movies, to have stories that empower you, that almost give you a sense of royalty. That's what Black Panther does. That's what Black is King is doing. Literally, it's in the name. Black is King. So for that to empower people that have not really been empowered by this form of imagery that they've had for such a long time, there is a hunger for that. There's a want to connect to their heritage. And that's what this album, this visual album is serving as well. Now, all these beautiful things been happening and it's creating a bridge between Black Americans and Africans. Here comes the woke-tivists, the people that want to, like, they see something being happening, like something's happening right now where there's a celebration of African imagery and empowerment. Some people are coming there to almost like to pour sand inside that Gary in some way, basically rain on the parade. Because here comes Noname. Okay, let's talk about Noname. I would love an opinion that would build upon what is happening and the discussion around an issue, rather than just like destroy it and break it down and just crumble whatever it's glimpse of joy people were finding in this. And that's what she came with this tweet, man. She came in on stating the most condescending, like, virtue signaling, I hate to say it, but this opinion was very dismissive to Africans, because she released a tweet that she now, as I'm recording this, has taken down, and thankfully she has, and has given some context to what she said. Her initial tweet was tying this almost to like a geopolitical issue. So her initial tweet was, "We love an African aesthetic draped in capitalism. Hope we remember the Black folks on the continent whose daily lives are impacted by US imperialism. I get her point, but I don't know, it just feels like the wrong time to say this. It just feels like the wrong moment or the wrong example to use for her argument. Her argument is basically saying, she's talking about how Africans in Africa are very much affected by the imperialist policies of the US government. Okay, US government in general there are many policies, and that's a whole political issue, and how capitalism hurts people here in Africa, okay? And how many imperialist policies that the US sets out impact Africa, okay? There are many. We can have that discussion. How US policies do affect Africa. But on one side, I'm like, it's just Beyonce. Like, fam, we're just trying to have fun here. Like, this is an entertainment piece. Not one to look at it as a situation and say, oh, let me use this opportunity to outwork people next to me. Like, fam, we know these are issues that are real, but to see this bridge of connection of heritage, mind you, it ties back to the connection of heritage for me, because I'm seeing African Americans that have been deprived time and time again about their identity, deprived of what made being Black something to be proud of or something to own. And you see Beyonce through her art trying to empower people and letting people know that being Black is something to be proud of, being Black is something to look at as a form of, to uplift yourself from the oppressive and systemic policies that are set out against you. But Noname looked at it as a way to just bring up an issue that is honestly not tied to this. It's honestly not tied to what Beyonce is trying to do here with the visual album. And that's what my issue is. Her point is valid in some sense. I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying what she's saying is untrue. I'm saying what she's saying is just not the opportunity for this. And I don't want to sound like, oh, you can't really raise political issues in terms of... But this is in the middle of a visual album that was built to liberate your own people. You can't really rain on parade and say, oh, like Beyonce's album should have liberated people from the imperialist arms of the US government. I don't see how Beyonce has that power. I don't see how Beyonce alone can do that. So to almost like to dismiss the entire thing as African aesthetic draped in capitalism, it's like, bro, every form of art, like obviously you spend money to buy something that would be implemented in your art. Every form of art is draped in capitalism. So what's your point? How is this even benefiting your conversation? It's not benefiting the conversation to point at this example, because this is not a valid example to pull out from. That's why I was just like distorted, like what is she even trying to say in the middle of everyone trying to be empowered by this beautiful thing, seeing a bridge that's honestly needed to be built between African and Black Americans. And it doesn't make sense because she's hurting. It doesn't make sense to me. And there comes the other arguments too that even some Africans on the African side have been making. Beyonce didn't tour Africa. Why is she using Africa? Is this the entire imagery of Africa? Why did she show all the nice houses? Why did she show all this is not blah, blah, blah. To those folks that really believe that Beyonce needed to have toured every single country in this continent, by the way, she has been here before all of this. She has had many shows down in South Africa. But people still, I see the comments, I see the tweets. People still have said, oh yeah, but she didn't tour here. They're putting that tour thing on her head. Okay, fine, she didn't tour here. But name one of your favorite artists that has toured here, okay? That has opened this level of doors and given this much opportunity to African creatives. Name one. Name one. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say you have to go on tour everywhere before you can come here to benefit off of our imagery. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help the argument, because what she's doing in any way is even a better form of empowerment than a tour would be. What would be a tour? A tour would just literally come here and just putting money in her pockets, like at the end of the day. But this obviously opened a lot more doors for a lot of creatives, and this is going to trickle down. It's going to trickle down for sure. This initiative is going to cause a ripple effect in many industries, the dance industry, the music industry in general. Look at the amazing artists that she put on this album. She doesn't owe anyone tours, okay? She doesn't owe you a tour. I don't understand that line of argument that she needs to tour, or that she's appropriating. Look at this thing though. Black Americans have suffered low-key. Imagine your ancestors being stripped away from a particular place that we know well where they're coming from. We know they've been stripped away, and I say stripped away like a Black Panther. But I'm saying they've been stripped away of their culture for numerous years, down from slavery to today, and for them to seek some level of connection to their roots, because they can confidently and comfortably stay in America with no identity whatsoever to their ancestors. But for them to find that by collaborating with Africans in Africa, and for you to come there and say, oh boy, you didn't tour. I beg, coach you, Joe, like come on. That's not helping anything. It's a very ridiculous prerequisite to set for artists, okay? Beyonce is doing something that she really wasn't supposed to. I really believe she went out of her way to make this happen, because fam, like there was no infrastructure for this to happen originally. Now I'm sure with this connection that she has made with African creatives, it's going to open a lot more collaboration now between Africans and Black Americans. Like it's going to be bigger. A lot of these industries are going to blend, and it works economically too, because I believe there's going to be a lot of money exchanging back and forth with this, and it's a great initiative. So anyway, I've said all I've said about this issue. Black is King is amazing, and I'm not one of those like Beyonce can do no wrong type of stands. Nah. I just see someone do something that's great and very like innovative in one way, and not many people have done that before, and I applaud it. And I see something that can benefit us, benefit African creative, benefit the art industry in Africa. And yeah, I would celebrate and create and give them the props for it, okay? Beyonce is not a perfect human being. She can make her mistakes, she can make her wrongs. I'm not one of those people that look at her like that, okay? So yeah, that's all I've said about this entire Black is King. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know about the arguments I've made from Noname making that tweet. And I know she has put up more tweets to give it more context about where she was coming from. Again, I still think this was not the opportunity for that. This was not the way to roll out that kind of argument. But yes, what she was saying was still valid in some sense, but I don't think this was the conversation to be having, or this was the right context to be having that conversation in. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. If you're new to this channel, of course, check out the other content out here. I am putting out more videos very shortly, so definitely subscribe if you are new to check out more content around African music. Okay, if you're not African and you love to see a lot of more African content, get more recommendations, you're in the right channel. Okay, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, let's get this going. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your boy Emmanuel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.